Okay, you know.
Get in there, boy.
Son of a bitch.
What is going on, everybody? We are back again for another episode of the Rivalry Podcast, and we've got the AFC and NFC Championships to break down for you guys before they are played this Sunday. Man, I am excited for these games. I felt like the divisional round was pretty solid. Obviously, I don't think it was as good as the wild card round, but there were some great games to watch, and it was a lot of fun. The first game I kind of want to talk about is, of course, that Broncos Bills game, just because Bo Nix goes down at the end, breaks his ankle, isn't going to be available for the rest of the playoffs, and they also get the win over Buffalo in overtime, game-winning field goal. It's crazy stuff, man. Buffalo continues to not get it done. Do you have anything to say on that, Joey?
You can't tell. Not feeling 1,000%, but if this is my flu game, so be it. I'm gonna let Stos gonna take the reins on this one. But yeah, I mean, it was a great game. Denver, there's a lot of reasons why Denver ended up winning this game, where they were playing, the brand of ball that was being played. And at the end of the day, the Bills just ran out of steam. Those penalties that happened were mental mistakes. I mean, as a DB, the first thing you're taught is to look back for the ball when the ball's in the air. And Buffalo playing 5 quarters in Denver, the altitude kind of can mess with you a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great win for Denver, not Buffalo. Great loss for Buffalo, if you ask me. But great win for Denver.
Dude, the number one, even when he's sick, he's the number one Buffalo Bills hater, man. Wow, look
If
at
I'm
this
not
guy.
consistent, what the hell am I?
I don't know, man. You're consistently a Jets fan, and the Jets are
Don't ask me.
consistently bad. So,
It's pretty good to have constants in your life. Friends, family, shitty football team.
you sound so sick right now, bro. Like you just sound like, bro.
Maybe I'm
Oh my
finally sick of the
goodness.
fucking gimmicks. I mean, those goddamn Jets were letting to win for once. I don't know. Well, yeah, it's sad to see
Yeah,
Bo Nix go, but is the Stidham Hive still out there alive and well? Remember the Stidham
dude.
Hive used to be a thing.
Well, Stidham was a
Go
Patriot,
Auburn? Go
so
Tigers?
I think it is a little I think it is a little interesting that Stidham's going to be matching up against the Patriots, the team that drafted him. Um and I think it's a little not insane, but like just the storyline of it all is pretty cool. I'm excited to kind of see how this game goes. Back to the Bills a little bit. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but man, that interception though, the one that was like the toss-up ball, I know a lot of people had different thoughts on it, and I'm sure like there's a specific ruling as to why the DB was ruled an interception on that. I think it's because what he didn't have secure possession when he came down was what they were saying, right? The receiver.
So the rule is that on a catch, regardless of what kind of catch, the receiver has to control and survive the ground. If
Yeah.
you've watched enough football, you've heard that phrase, you have to survive the ground. If you watch back that Brandon Cooks play, Brandon Cooks has the ball initially. As he
Yeah.
goes down, he hits on the back, he hits his back on the ground.
Hmm.
When he hits, the ball bobbles and it jars and he loses possession of it.
Yeah.
How McMillan, if I'm not mistaken, is able to, because he's right on top of him, is able to grab it and roll over with it. Because when Brandon Cooks hits the ground, he loses possession of the ball and the ball bounces
Yeah.
out. If Brandon Cooks is by himself and nobody is there, he still loses that ball when he hits the ground. That is why they rule that a live ball. That's why they rule
Yeah.
that originally it would be incomplete because you have to survive the process of going to the ground, and he did not survive that process. And
Yeah.
McMillan is able to take the ball because the ball never hits the ground. The ball is loose over his torso, but he never catches it. He never
Yeah,
secures it again.
you guys just saw the clip because I just put it over that. And I'm gonna show you guys a clip from the Patriots Bills game towards the end of the season. And it's a play that was kind of similar, but I think the way that it went down when they went to the ground is why the call went in Buffalo's favor that time. So kind of take a look at these two videos and then you'll see kind of why I think they ruled it an interception. Nonetheless, Buffalo had opportunities to win this game. They also had opportunities in overtime. Like, it was a tough game. The Broncos battled it out. They were the better team, and McDermott got fired, which is kind of nuts. And the whole thing with the Bills owner is kind of crazy. Him coming out and just straight up saying, yeah, the GM basically didn't want to draft Keon Coleman and all this and that. I don't know, Joe, if you saw this morning, there was a report that Philip Rivers is being interviewed for the head coaching job.
That's actually really
Did you
funny.
know, dude, did you even know that?
No, the only thing I saw was that Mike McDaniels, after accepting the Chargers OC position, is still interviewing for the Bills head coaching job.
Is he actually?
Yeah, I saw that today. But not to stray
Wait,
too far from
what?
your point. Yeah, no, it's weird, right? Not to stray too far from your point, though. A better example of that whole catch process. There was a play in the Rams game where Devontae Adams had the ball like that.
Yeah.
He hits the ground, and then the DB rips the ball out from him, and everyone's like, "Oh, why is that not an interception?" Devontae Adams had two hands on the ball. He hits the ground. He survives the ground process, and then he lets go because the play is over. And that's when the defensive back ripped it out and held on to it.
Yeah.
So it's
I
so yeah.
mean, I think that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about on the Buffalo and Broncos game. I think it was just that whole game just had so much crazy stuff going on. And then the after the fact stuff, like the fact that McDermott got fired, like we were saying. Now you have
And,
Philip Rivers looking for the head coaching job, Mike McDaniels, who how
I mean, you don't
how
have
does
Bo
that
Nix.
work, by the way? I thought he accepted. Yeah, wait, did he not sign the contract
No,
with
he
the
did.
Chargers?
He did. Pretty much, he's interviewing for the job. If he doesn't get it, he's the Chargers OC.
Okay. So if he
Yeah,
gets
it's
it, he
not.
can
There's not
just
that much fanfare on it. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So, I mean, looking forward to watching the Broncos in the AFC Championship, even though they're not going to have Bo Nix, which is a huge loss, I will say. It'll be cool to see that defense in Mile High on Championship Sunday.
Hmm.
Moving on to the Patriots Texans. Patriots get it done again. The goalpost keeps moving for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people just saying the whole reason, like Dan Orlovsky, he came on and then he apologized. He said something like 31 other quarterbacks could have won that game for the Texans. And I
Wait,
don't,
you mean Darren Orlovsky had a bad take and had to apologize for it?
dude,
Shocking.
I just think it's like funny how like so many people, it's like discrediting two people. It's like killing two birds with one stone with that statement, right? Because you saying
True.
31 other quarterbacks could win that game is basically saying like, it's saying the Patriots did nothing to win while also saying that like the entire reason the Texans lost was CJ Stroud. And like, yes, am I going to say CJ Stroud played terrible? He did. Anyone's going to tell
Yeah, I
you that.
mean,
But I also don't want to be every other podcast in the world just saying CJ Stroud
hmm
played terrible. Like it's so easy. You just
hmm
look at the box score. He had four interceptions. Like, come on. But
It's a process versus results league,
yeah.
and specifically, the process of this game was the Patriots defensive line absolutely had their way with the Texans offensive line, and CJ Stroud got uncomfortable, and he was never quite able to settle in, and you could tell why he's throwing some passes the way he was, why it looked like he was really forcing some passes is because credit to him for this. He tried to take over the game and put the game on his shoulders like the team's starting quarterback should, but
Hmm.
just it was too much. And this, it's you either sink or swim, and he unfortunately jumped in the water with the anchor tied to his chest, and
Yeah.
it wasn't very indicative of who CJ Stroud is as a quarterback because we've seen CJ Stroud play some pretty good football in his
Yeah.
career. It's just everything in the playoffs is magnified,
Yeah.
and
No, for
having an
sure.
outing like this, I mean, it sucks because it's a part of his legacy now. But
I know.
uh,
And it sucks for him
I
because
don't
I
want it
like
to,
CJ Stroud and I
yeah,
feel
I
like
don't
he's a
want it
good
to,
quarterback, but
yeah, I don't want it to erase from the fact that Stroud, yeah. If you asked me who he was before this game, I would have told you Stroud is a good, not great quarterback. And if you ask me who I think CJ Stroud is today, I think he's a good, not great quarterback.
yeah, I do think he's good. I don't think he's great yet, clearly. I mean, if you throw four picks in a divisional game, you're clearly not great yet, but he's had
It's
his
easy.
struggles and I feel like he doesn't have a lot of not saying that like Nico Collins isn't good and like this and that, but like you do lose Stephon Diggs, you lose Tank Dell for another season, right? Because Tank Dell got hurt
Yep.
last year and then he was out all
Hmm.
this year. So I
He
mean the
just got recently
weapons aren't
cleared,
the
actually.
same. Oh, Mixon. They didn't
Yeah.
have Joe Mixon all year. Like Joe Mixon was maybe gonna come back. He never came back.
It
I
was
mean,
a shame to see that it really like you could see the talent disparity on the field. Like the Texans offense
what's up?
didn't have
My
a
dog's
playmaker to go
ruined.
to.
Can you hear her? Peanut.
Oh, the dog showing up?
Um, no, yeah, but
Yeah, but
she's
yeah.
be quiet.
That talent disparity is really quite evident, actually, because like the Texans didn't have a receiver who could win in man coverage because all the Patriots were doing was playing man coverage in the back and rushing four and having a linebacker green dog it. A green dog
Intermission
for
real
those
quick.
of you who don't.
Let me let her
Yeah.
out. Sorry. She's being so funny.
A green dog, for those of you who don't know, since I have the time to explain it, is it's a linebacker whose responsibility on a certain play is he's manned up with the running back. And if the running back releases into the pattern, the linebacker will follow him. If the running back stays in the block, the green dog then becomes an extra blitzer, or he can become a QB spy. And so you have a four-man pass rush with the green dog. If the running back comes in the block for max protection, then you have a fifth blitzer. And then they were winning with four consistently. So you add that fifth guy. Stroud didn't understand. Well, I don't want to say to understand, but Stroud really didn't have a good feel for what was happening in that game because his internal clock was shot. It was
Yeah,
I got it.
it was.
I don't know if you've seen that meme of college football, but the quarterback's like
It's
he has
got
his hands
stadium
out.
pulse on max.
Yeah,
Like,
his
yeah,
CJ
dude.
Stroud stadium post fucking broke the bar and it's shooting off the screen. So bad his
Yeah,
stadium post was.
it just felt like he was already like. I'm trying to it felt like he was already sensing that he was going to be under pressure before the ball was
Oh
even
yeah,
in his hands. Do you know what I mean?
thousand
Like he
percent.
just,
He was
yeah, he seemed like he
not to
was,
steal a phrase, but he was seeing ghosts.
yeah, he was, dude. And I
I'm
think,
allowed to say that. I love Sam. I love Sam. He's
I
advancing in the
think,
playoffs.
yeah,
Go win you a ring, Sam.
that'd be pretty
Now that the
cool.
Bears are out
I
of
will
it.
say, I think, I know. I think the Seahawks look really good. The last thing I'm going to say on the Texans is I don't think a lot of
Mhm.
people realize like if that offense was completely healthy the whole year, it could have been the Texans' year for real with that defense they had and like all that. But either way, let's jump into this.
You play who you play when you play them. Unfortunately,
I got to ask Joey this because we've seen the direction Joey has gone when picking Patriots games. Will it stay the same? Patriots, Broncos, AFC Championship in Denver. No Bo Nix. I'm going Patriots. I kind of feel like I have to. I was probably going to go Patriots even if Bo Nix played. I'm going to be real.
it's
But
kind of out of character for you. You've never picked Patriots before.
I just think it's like the defense is continuing to show why the Patriots are one of the best teams in the NFL. There, I said it. They are one of the best teams in the NFL. Despite the schedule, despite what everyone wants to say, like I
I
do
can't
think
even
that
say the I
yeah, I
can't
don't
even make
know.
the hot take buzzer because it's not a hot take. It's just
I just,
inaccurate though.
yeah, that's why I was saying the goalpost is being
Unfortunately,
moved. Like, I feel like a lot of people are still talking about the Patriots like they're not a good team, and it's like they're in the AFC Championship. They're a win away from the Super Bowl. At what point are they a good team? I don't know. It's hard for me to see Jarrett Stidham and the Broncos outplaying Drake May and the Patriots on offense. It's kind of similar to what I was saying against the Texans. Like, this Patriots defense is extremely underrated. I think that they can go head to head with the Broncos defense. And then I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to which offense can put up more points. And I'm taking Drake May, MVP, runner up, and MVP, whatever he ends up being. I'm taking that offense.
well, I think the question in there is who am I picking?
It
And the
is.
answer is I'm gonna pick the team up north, unfortunately. But I won't try. That doesn't mean I'm gonna try my damnedest on here not to sell you on the vision I have for Denver maybe winning this game. Do I
Okay,
think
so
they will?
you're
No,
picking, does that mean you're picking New England?
unfortunately. I won't say the words, but I'm
You
not
want
picking
it?
Denver. Not picking Denver, but you can put two and two together from there. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try and sell you on a world where I think Denver can
Yeah.
have a shot. I see. I don't even think they can still win. I don't think they have a shot. But we'll get. I don't know if you want to talk about that now. You want to
Yeah.
recap the last few games.
How do you think Stidham and the Broncos can win this?
See, the big discrepancy that I've had with the Patriots is that I gave their defense not enough credit, and I gave the offenses that they've played too much credit. Right.
Okay.
So I'm walking it back on both ways. The Patriots, like you said, a much better defense than I originally thought. And the offenses that they played were not as good as I originally thought they were going to be.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
the big common denominator in those matchups is the Patriots just destroying offensive lines. And the Chargers' offensive line was hurt hard. It was hit
Yeah.
really hard. No Joe Alt, no Rashawn Slater. They are missing two potential all-pro tackles. One of them didn't even see it break out of training camp. Mekhi Becton's trying to pass block for you. It's a bad day.
Yeah.
I know that one too. Shout out Jets. But and then you go to the Texans. They traded away Laremy Tunsil in the offseason. Everyone thought, whoa, that doesn't make sense. Why would you get rid of one of the best left tackles in the game? You could have used Laremy Tunsil in this game if you're the Texans. And that offensive line couldn't hold their weight. And so with this game against Denver, if you're a Denver's fan, this part is for you. This New England Patriots team has to come into Mile High, which, if we're being spade for spade, is probably the most beneficial of regional home field advantage in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Also, no,
It's
I don't know
very
if you know this. Patriots are 0-4 in the playoffs all time at Mile High.
Did not know that. There you go. There's
Yeah.
more credence to my point.
Yeah.
But going into Denver, there is a serious home field advantage there. Like I said, Buffalo ran out of steam in the end of that game. The wheels came off for Buffalo. They were out of gas in that fifth quarter. The word of the day for Denver is sustainability, right? You're going to try to sustain drives. And how do you do that? By keeping Drake May and his offense off the field. That offense has historically for this season started slow. It takes a while for them to get going. But once they do, train doesn't stop. So if you're Denver, you need to keep that offense off the field as long as possible. And how do you do that? You run the ball. You run
Yeah.
the ball. You have Denver's the best offensive line New England has played. They have bona fide stars on that offensive line. And they have guys like Garrett Bowles, who has been there and done that in his NFL
Hmm.
career. This offensive line needs to dominate this game. If Denver can dominate this game up front, run the ball, chew the clock, go on 10, 11, 12 play drives where they can run the ball 3, 4, 5 times straight and get 20 some yards out of it. You don't want Jarrett Stidham to come into this game thinking that he has to win the game with every throw. Jarrett Stidham's job is to not lose you this football game. And since he is
Yeah.
the backup quarterback on this roster, he has the trust of Sean Payton and the rest of his coaching staff that, hey, you put him in the game, he's not going to lose you the game. You're not going to ask him to do what Bo Nix did against Denver and rush for a touchdown and unload
Yeah.
giant bombs for touchdowns.
Yeah.
Bo Nix played incredibly well, and I really wish that the narrative for this game would be about how big of a step Bo Nix took when he needed
Yeah.
to most.
No, Bo Nix is
But
so legit, man.
but that's
Um,
not where this game is headed. This
yeah.
game is what Jarrett Stidham can do, and I don't think this game falls on Jarrett Stidham's shoulders at all because it's easy to say a backup quarterback beating New England. Where have we seen this story before?
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. I think obviously Nick Foles was a much more talented quarterback than Jarrett
Yeah.
Stidham was. That's
He was
not a
also
hot
a
take.
starter too. Like he
Yeah,
was
that's not a hot take. Nick Foles had his time in the sun, and I think that Jarrett Stidham's people are the narrative. If you hear people say, "Hey, this game, well, the only way they win is if Jarrett Stidham's the next Nick Foles," that's not true at all. There is a
yeah.
legitimate path for this team to win. Denver still has
They
a
win
top two
through their
defense.
defense. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
like
they
if
still
they
have a top two
win,
defense.
yeah.
Denver still has a top defense in this league, and their offense is built for the style of game that New England doesn't want to be in. Run
Like
the
I don't think
ball,
people,
do the
yeah,
clock,
I
keep
don't know.
keep Drake May on the sideline in a
Hmm.
cold January day in Denver, and I think that they have a shot. Do I
Like,
think they win
yeah.
at the end? No, because I think eventually it'll come down to Stidham having to make a big time play, and I don't know if he'll make it. But that's just the world where Denver can't, if Denver lives in that world I'm creating, then there is a chance that New England has a much difficult time getting out of Denver than they might anticipate.
Yeah, I think people also like I think the Nick Foles comparison is a little lazy because it's like people got to look back at that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl was 33 to 41. Like I do not see this game being anywhere near that. Like I think if Jared Stidham and the Broncos win, it's going to be like 13 to 10 or like
Hmm.
17 to 14. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be the defenses that battle it out. And yeah, I think it could still be a really good game. For some more hope for Broncos fans, J.K. Dobbins, there was a report that he could come back.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's official yet. I'm sure he's still like trying to work to get back for Sunday,
Yeah.
but that's going to be a great game. We'll head over to the NFC right now. Let's just get this off out the way and off our plate. Seahawks dismantle the 49ers. I mean,
Yeah.
that was pretty crazy. What was it? 41 to 6. I mean,
Yeah,
they
that game pretty much started and ended with that opening kickoff. I mean,
it they
we were
won.
not very
They won.
yeah,
The 49ers had 6 points. The Seahawks had
yeah.
seven after the first kickoff. Like
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, we're both on the nose with this one as far as like, we gave proper credit to the Niners because we both
Yeah.
thought that this was a miracle season for them to be where they are with how short-manned they have been.
Hmm.
And then we thought that this was the week that that talent disparity comes back to catch them, and it did. I
This was
mean,
the one
it
game where we
sucks.
picked the same team too last week. We both
Yeah,
picked Seahawks.
it sucks that the Seahawks lost Charbonnet in this game because that really kind of derails their 1-2 attack.
It
But
does.
it just let Kenny Walker ascend, and Kenny Walker's going to be a free agent in the offseason. I don't know if Seattle ends up paying him because they have Charbonnet still, and the fact that the two of them have been splitting time. But Seattle kind of gets in and takes care of business like we both thought they would. I think the other game is a
Yeah.
lot more interesting to talk about.
Oh no, it is, and that's why we're gonna jump into it. And we'll talk Seattle fans. If anyone watching this is a Seahawks fan, we're about to talk about your team a little bit more right now.
We'll do it in the matchup
But
section.
yeah, but the fact that that Bears game, the Bears and Rams game, comes down to Caleb Williams once again having to make and it just an insane play. Like a part of me is a little bummed that your Bears didn't pull it off because that play's kind of erased from
Yeah,
history now.
that
Like
play, it's like Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary against the
I
Cardinals.
I know it is because they lose that
Nobody
game.
remembers
So
that Rodgers Hail Mary. They only remember the Larry Fitzgerald drive and
yeah,
then ensued immediately after.
exactly, dude.
I
And
will
that
say,
yeah.
Caleb Williams, I don't mean to interrupt you, but this was the team that I put all, this is the team
Yeah.
that I tied myself to.
Hmm.
If you're a Bears fan, you cannot be more proud of this team. And I
Dude.
think you have to look at the fight this team had throughout the postseason, throughout the regular season, and you have to be really excited for under Ben Johnson. Caleb Williams' first success in the playoffs. I mean,
Caleb
you look
Williams
at
is that guy,
quarterbacks,
bro. It's that
you look
simple.
at quarterbacks, you step into the playoffs, game speeds up and, you worry that if can your quarterback hold his weight? And you're worried about seeing Stroud implode, seeing Herbert implode, and seeing all these quarterbacks who can't seem to get it done. When the lights are brightest and his team needs him the most, Caleb Williams dons the cape and
Yeah.
does whatever the hell the team needs him to do. It's crazy because he looked like USC Caleb Williams, which
Yeah.
is something I never thought I'd say because the way Caleb Williams played ball at USC is that
Yeah.
like he was clear cutting away the most talented player. He was clear cutting away the best athlete, and that he knew that I can go wherever, do whatever, move wherever, and throw the ball from whatever angle, whatever launch point, and it'll get to where it needs to be perfectly every
Yeah.
time.
My
And
first and
that
only
is who showed
yeah.
up. Like, yeah, you could say the Rams defensive back played it bad because he tried to undercut the ball or whatever, but again,
That was a
process
crazy
results.
throw. I don't think
Caleb Williams is just on his back foot, pressure in his face,
dude,
said he knows where his guy should be, and he launched one.
yeah. I think the DB undercut it because he didn't think Caleb could get the ball
Yeah.
there. Like the
He,
fact that
mhm.
Caleb got the ball there off the bat, like it looked like Caleb Williams had zero torque on that pass. Like it
I'm
felt like
telling you,
that was all arm strength, bro.
it
That was
to me,
crazy.
to me, because I watched it back a couple times, it doesn't look like Caleb Williams sees where he is and sees the defender
I
and
think he just
throws it.
chucked it up, bro.
I
I feel
think
like
that
he had to.
that comes down to the understanding mentally. Like, hey,
Yeah.
we're running this play. My tight end, I have this route called. I have these routes here. I have my tight end on a deep corner route to the back pylon.
Hmm.
I know that that's the play called. And breaks down and Caleb Williams has to improvise. It's no longer hey, I need to see him to make sure he's open so I throw it for the game. It's, hey, I know the route somewhere in that area. I just need to do my part and get him the ball, and good things happen. Give my guy a
What's up,
chance.
mom?
And he gave his guy a chance, and that's what happened.
Sorry, dude. My mom was just saying what's up. No, I 1,000% agree with you. He gave him a chance there. And the last thing I'll say on the Bears before we wrap this up is just like
Yep.
if you're the Bears, there's nothing but stuff to be happy about.
Yeah, thousand
I
percent.
think
You
I
you
think if you're
overachieved as far as any
yeah,
analyst could have predicted, and I even think the fans would have been like, yeah, a playoff run would be nice.
I
And
think,
here
and
you
I'll
were
be
in
real.
the NFC
Yeah.
divisional game, and you had a chance to win in overtime.
That's why
And
I'm not trying to rub
it's a great game.
yeah,
It was a
I'm not
great
trying to
game. It
rub
was a great season. But I'm sorry, I
Mhm.
didn't mean to interrupt you. You see,
Oh yeah.
I thought I wasn't going to talk that much, but the more I talk, the more my voice feels good. Who would have thought?
I'm just saying, like,
But
I feel like I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound of these Bears fans, but I do think if they win that game, not saying they'd have been the favorites against Seattle, obviously, but I think a lot of people would have had the Bears going to the Super Bowl.
it would have been an impressive 2 game stretch, to be honest with you. But the Rams, man, the
What did we
Rams
say? The Rams are
proved,
kind of inevitable, bro. They kind of are giving
yeah.
Thanos vibes. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I
it's
mean,
kind of ridiculous.
I mean, I guess you could say my green tinted glasses turned a little navy blue and orange there for a week.
Yeah.
But the thing we've been saying on this podcast, at least for me, is that, to have a great playoff team, you need to have an elite quarterback. You need to have a great run game. You need to have a great defense. And that is who the Rams are to a T. Matthew Stafford, when the team needed him in the game, the only Super Bowl winning quarterback left, did a job and showed why you go out
Yeah.
in a young man's game, the value of having a 16, 17, 18-year vet who's been there and done that has won the Super Bowl. He's seen it all, and that leadership and that game experience just was another deciding factor in this game.
Yeah, and I think it says something about the Rams when at the end of the day their two playoff victories were by the skin of their teeth. They win on a game-winning field goal last week. They win on a game-winning touchdown against the Panthers. Like I feel like although as Rams fans, there's probably people out there that are like worried about their squad and if they can get it done, but I also think that kind of just shows your team's resilient and like if
Battle
you're
tested.
yeah, if you're a good football team and you're winning the close ones and like the games you should have lost, you're still winning, it's gonna be hard to get rid of the Rams this playoffs. So now this is where we,
There's a
yeah.
phrase. There's a phrase
Mhm.
that I hate because as a Jets fan, it gets thrown in my face a lot. But I
Yeah.
think it's very fair in this point. It's that
What's up?
bad teams find a way to lose
Good
and good
teams
teams find a way to win.
find a way to
And that's
win.
just what
Yeah.
the Rams are, a good team and they find ways to win.
Yeah.
And that's
So back,
I think that is again, I know you want to move off,
yeah.
but the last point for me, that's the epitome of this Rams playoff run.
No, it
The
is.
bad
That's what
teams
I was.
found a way to
Yeah.
lose and the better team found a way to win. That's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, DJ Moore
Proceed, my
too.
friend.
I don't know. That pick that Caleb Williams threw too, it seemed like DJ Moore held up a little bit. It wasn't a great throw, but it
Yeah, it's a
sucks
bang
that it
bang.
goes.
It's a bang bang
Yeah.
play.
But let's take a stroll up to Seattle and talk about this Seattle and LA Rams matchup, man. Seattle will be hosting the Rams. Last time they played, it was that overtime game that ended in a 2-point conversion for Seattle to win, right? That was the last time they
Hmm.
played. And
That controversial one, yep.
yeah, that was arguably one of the best games I watched all season. That was crazy.
Hmm.
Um and I'm gonna be real, man. I don't know if you've already made your pick.
Yeah, I got my pick.
I've been
I got my.
struggling with this one, bro.
So here,
Like,
let me give you my rationale, and I'll see if that
yeah,
dots any T's and or crosses any T's and dots any I's for you. In my mind, I could see the Denver New England game being a tough, grinded out, defensive heavy run game. This one
yeah.
could easily be a fireworks show. And if this game comes down to that fireworks show, I think it'll be hard pressed to beat the Rams in the style of game that the Rams want to play. because then, this isn't regular season stakes anymore, right? This is playoffs. And I think that you have to look directly at the defense's matchup is negligible. The defenses are close enough to where that's not going to matter. The run game, I think, without Charbonnet, I think the
Yeah,
Seahawks are going to take a step back from that 1-2 ground game they had because they don't want to run they don't want to run Kenny Walker into the ground. I think that you'll see this game for me comes down to which quarterback can win his team the game by making the big plays
yeah.
when he needs this team to when this team needs him. And I love Sam. I love Sam. I love that kid with
Mhm.
my heart. He's not as good as a quarterback as Matthew Stafford is at this point.
No. And can I jump on that real quick because you brought something
No,
up that I wanna.
that's my long and short. I think this
Yeah.
comes down to the quarterbacks, and that's why I think the Rams end up taking it. But
Well, I was gonna say this, so I think we're gonna both agree on the two same picks for once this week. I think I'm gonna go Rams too, and I'll tell you why. One
we
one
have,
of which is you do have the MVP in Matthew Stafford or runner up, whatever you want to call
mhm.
it, same thing as May. And I
I'd call him the
would
MVP, but
I would rather see the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, but I think the X factor for me in this game comes down to the 6 interceptions Sam Darnold has thrown in 2 games versus the Rams. He threw four
mhm.
in one game, he threw two in the other. I think at the end of the day, if Sam Darnold does not turn the ball over, even if he throws one interception, let's just say, like, I think that gives the Seahawks a much better chance. I think their defense is legit. Probably, actually, I don't even know because the Patriots and Broncos defense is super good, but I'm taking the Seahawks defense over the Rams for
Yep.
sure.
I
Um,
wouldn't even put a number on it, to be honest with you. If Darnold turns the ball over more than Stafford, his team loses.
yeah, no,
I think
for
that's the long and
sure.
short of it. If Stafford throws one, Sam can't throw two.
I'm gonna
If
say
Stafford
this,
has three
yeah.
turnovers, Darnold can't have four.
I'm gonna take the Rams because I think I said this. I might have said it in the wild card video, or maybe it was last week. But I said I think the Rams, when they play their best, are the best team in the NFL. Like the Rams at their best are better than every other team
Yeah,
at their best. So I
yeah.
think that's why I'm gonna stick with them. I do think playing in Seattle and having home field advantage and all the 12s in the stadium could be a really big swear for Seattle. But at the same time, I think the Rams are one of the only teams that play in warm weather that actually do decent in the cold. They beat Chicago in Chicago. Even last year against the Eagles, it was cold, and I'm pretty sure they played pretty well. You got this year, they're going up to Seattle. So we'll see, man. I'm going to lock it in with the Rams, though.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm excited.
Again,
I,
there is a
I'm
world.
excited.
There is a world for you Seahawks fans out there where Sam Darnold has one of those games like Caleb just had, where when the lights shine the brightest, he takes that step and he really establishes himself as one of the upper echelon quarterbacks in the NFL. And that would start against the Rams by him having yeah, you had my number in the regular season, but guess what? Everything's magnified. So
Yeah.
that'll be my final thoughts if you want to tiptoe us out of here.
Yeah, I think I'm just really excited, guys. I think these are going to be some good games to watch. Even with Bo Nix out, I still encourage everybody to watch that Patriots Broncos game. Even as a Patriots fan, I still think that game has a very good chance of being a close, just entertaining matchup. Um, but either way, guys, I think next week we are going to try to drop the video of the Jets recap, the season recap. That's kind of news to Joey as well, but we're going to talk about that. We're also going to do at some point our Super Bowl predictions. We'll talk about the Super Bowl a little bit. And yeah, it's about it. I hope if you guys enjoyed the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We've got more content for you guys coming up. And once this NFL season ends, we're going to really start diving into basketball and baseball for y'all. So stay around. I hope you guys got your dose of Stos. I hope you guys got your Shab in there, your Joey Shabadoo in there. And yeah, this was another episode of The Rivalry. We'll catch you next time. Peace.